Hi there, Zamir from NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of House of Ninjas. This is season one, I guess, currently on Netflix. 8 episodes long. So, the House of Ninjas are a family of ninjas, a lineage of ninjas who have been working for the government, for the police, I guess, for several generations. They are good guys without a doubt. They have a code they have to live by where they're not allowed to basically eat meat because eating meat ruins their senses of smell, and they want to be able to smell their enemy. And on top of that, they're not really allowed to have relationships. Now, how they do have relationships is that a certain person is assigned to them, and they can have a relationship with that person. So it keeps kind of things in house because they don't want the rest of the world or the rest of Japan, in this particular case, knowing about this ninja family. Now, this ninja family does try to live like a normal family, as you can imagine. They have a front, which is a brewery, which has been passed down from generation to generation. And the father of this family wants this brewery to work. He wants to live a normal life, so much so that their youngest son, who's the kid with the orange top in this picture, is totally oblivious of his family being ninjas. Eventually, he does find out because it's very hard to keep that secret a secret. But initially, he just wants his younger son to grow up to have a normal life because the eldest son, who's the one on the right hand side with the grey top, he dies earlier on in this, and we believe he is dead, but he's not actually dead. He's been saved by the enemy, and he's been brainwashed by the enemy, and he ends up becoming the enemy. So now the son is working for the bad guys, and he ends up being an antagonist, which obviously adds more friction to the whole show. And he will be, in my opinion, the main antagonist in season two because he does survive this particular season. Now, the main antagonist of season one is one of the people who we see it very early on in this episode who does survive an encounter with these ninjas, and by surviving, he feels like he's been reborn, and he creates this grand plan of basically killing a whole bunch of politicians and starting a new sort of world order in Japan. And as we see this plan play out with these apparently poisonous flowers and so on, our ninjas here have to try and stop him from letting that happen. But between the first episode and 8 episodes of all of these things coming together to stop him from stopping that man from doing his terrible business, we have all sorts of subplots and character development. And one of the things in this family they're not allowed to do is have relationships outside of their bubble, so to speak. If you want to be in a relationship, somebody will be assigned to you. You can have a relationship with that person and continue the lineage. But if you just meet some random person on the street or you chat up a girl or a guy, you're not allowed to do that because then that person might expose the shinobi family, this ninja family, to other people. And the whole point about the family is that they're undercover. They keep, you know, it's their family in a way is a front to who they really are, even though they want to be this family and they are this family. So nobody's really allowed to know about them. They're not allowed to have relationships. They're not even allowed to eat meat, but apparently meat will ruin your senses, and so you want to be able to smell your enemy. All of these sort of things. It's pretty cool in that particular sense. Pretty sad though that they can't have relationships. But the middle kid, the middle son that is, he does want to have a relationship with this one particular girl, and that does put things in jeopardy. And that's part of the storyline that goes through the middle of this particular show. The youngest daughter, she also has a guy with a crush on her, but she immediately puts a stop to that. But she also believes that she can um, get her brother back from the darkness, her elder brother, who's now turned to the dark, who now works for the enemy, and obviously her naivety plays a factor in that. As I mentioned earlier, the younger son, he always believes there's something up with the family more than they're letting it onto him because he knows because he's unaware that his family are ninjas until he does find out they are ninjas. The wife, she gets really bored. She shoplifts because she's so bloody bored at times and using her ninja skills to shoplift. Yeah, she's a kleptomaniac to a degree. But she then gets hired by the police to do some undercover work, and in that, and by doing so, the husband believes that the wife is having an affair because she's away from home all the time. The husband obviously wants to keep his brewery, which has been passed down from generation to generation, active, even though that's just a front for their whole organization of being shinobis and ninjas and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, and there's a grandma too, obviously, who's obviously a badass because she's the elder stateswoman and knows her stuff. Yeah, this is a whole family of ass kickers, so to speak, and yet they still want to be this family. and having the dynamic of one of their family members working for the bad guy as well also plays its part too in all the drama that we get in this. And yes, being a ninja show, this is action. I wouldn't say action packed, but actioned enough. You know, you do get some moments, and they are pretty well executed at times, and it's pretty fun. Some episodes have bigger set pieces than others. But one of my issues with just Japanese entertainment in generally is their use of music and tones and vibes when it comes to the sound part, the scores and all of that. I think they're really, really bad at knowing what music or tones need to accompany the moments that you're watching. If you ever played Metal Gear Solid 5, that game has some terrible music scores, even though the game itself is phenomenal. If you played Final Fantasies games as well, they have some terrible music. And same with this series, the choice of music at times, I think to myself, what the hell am I listening to, watching what I'm watching? Forgive me, my phone just beeped. For instance, at the beginning of this episode, we get an action scene where all this family of ninjas are hacking and slashing, slicing and dicing. And what we're listening to is the song of "Our house is a very, very, very fine house with two cats in the yard." I mean, that is the song I'm listening to as this ninja family is slaughtering everybody on sight. These are all the people, they're bad guys, of course, they're killing, but still, that's the music I'm listening to. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell? Like, this music doesn't work. I get it. They're a family, and you're trying to maybe portray a family of killers, shinobis, assassins, doing what they're doing, but it just doesn't work. Regardless, you're being too clever for your own good. When it comes to scores, they need to hire maybe more, Western people to do their scores, because the Japanese ain't got a bloody clue. They always ruin the musical side, the tonal side, the score side of anything they try to do, and this is no different, by the way. It peed me off at times, but it took me out of those moments. Here's a really good action scene, and here's the worst music to accompany that action scene. It drove me nuts. Regardless, the drama in this, the tense, the like there's some intense moments, and there's obviously some devices when it comes to uncovering plots, detective work, so to speak, because these ninjas are a jack of all trades. Not only are they really good at stealth and fighting and stuff like that, they're detectives as well. They figure things out. That's what makes them so valuable to the government and to the police. And as I said earlier, there are plot twists as well. Certain ones I didn't see coming, which was a good one regarding one particular character. You might know or not know what I'm talking about, regardless if you've seen this episode or not. Overall, it's an okay show, not fantastic. If there is a season 2, I probably will watch it. I give this I'm stuck between a 6 and a 7, and I don't really like doing halves, but I think I might do it on this occasion. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think because I'm willing to go back for a second season. Hopefully they'll improve on things. As I said, this is not a family show, even though it's about a family of shinobis. But regardless, it elevates itself just enough because it's not trying to be too family orientated when it comes to how you watch it if you do watch it as a family. It's just about a family. It's not meant to be watched for as a family, I guess, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's all I can really say about that. It's good. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I think that's all right. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was okay. Good stuff. More good stuff coming from the Far East. Korea still kills it, by the way, but Japan, I guess they're not too far behind. This was probably one of their better efforts. Let me know what you think of this particular series, and if you are willing to watch a season 2. I guess I am. What we got at the end, I'm intrigued to see some more. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care now. Bye-bye.